Tenpoint Crossbows is a family business, been around since 1993. Our mission is to make the best crossbows in the world. It's something that my family's done forever. My grandpa started, my dad has been in it for 30 years. My brother and I now run the company. This is really all that my family does and the people here focus on. We take the responsibility very seriously that people spend a lot of money on our bows. And so when they open it up, we want them to see that we care. We've put a lot of time and energy into making it something that they can use for years, pass on to their kids. They expect it to work, be safe, and have the level of care that you would expect when you buy something. We had a situation in 2014 where we had a recall based off of a condition that could be created with our trigger box. At that time, we did not have any lot tracking capabilities, so we didn't really have a way to narrow down where the issue may be. So we really had to put a blanket recall out there for anybody to test and identify if the condition existed and then send it back and we would repair it.
When Tenpoint first reached out to us, they had a very specific need of looking for a lot of genealogy and traceability on their product, as they had recently went through an issue where they had a broad scope because they didn't have that defined level of traceability. So what they were looking to achieve is a means of a serialization on each product and tracking all the componentry that went into each one of those pieces. Over the last few years that we've been working with them, we've been very excited at the fact that they've added in a new element into their manufacturing where they've got a robot cell going through and doing sorting of the bows where it's actually measuring the deflection. We're capturing that against the serial number of each one of those bows that gets transferred into the final product. Also elements along the main assembly line where they're marrying in the trigger box to each individual serial number of the bow and guiding the operators through that process. Even at the end where they do a chronograph test where they're measuring the feet per second of the arrow and transferring that off to each one of the bows coming through. And then even at pack out where they have a camera over top of where they take an image of the bow in the box, the manual, and they even include the hat in that imagery.
Integrating eFlex into the production environment was very simple. I don't have a background at all in computer science or software programming, and I was able to set up the stations and the tasks very quickly. We were up and live within a matter of a couple weeks using it full scale in production.
One thing that was very important to them is understanding what their production rates are in live real time. So they have it displayed off on a PC there at the end of the line for the operators that are working with their backs to the wall, as well as a nice overhead monitor. So there's great visibility for the entire shop floor to understand where they're at and what they have left to do for that day.
Working with the eFlex team is incredible. It's the best support that I've ever received from an external vendor. Even idea generation, they have a lot of great idea generation because they have a lot of experience that's way beyond my little crossbow facility that goes into helping me come up with a way to do something that I don't really know how I want to do it or the right way to do it. So all those things have been great. And the number one thing that I've always really respected is that you're never nickel and dimed on charges when you want to try to make a change or get their support. Or that's something that I've really run into with a lot of software support is every time you turn around, it's a charge to do this and a charge to do that. And it's like, well, what am I getting with my license fee? My goal eventually is to have our assembly line controlled by the software where we can't hit a button and move the pallet until the station is complete. That's a full integration, much more complicated, but that's my eventual goal. The future of Tenpoint is to continue to invent new technologies, drive the market, integrating technology where it makes sense, where can we do something that makes the bottleneck faster, and use eFlex to continue to drive quality into our bows.